Imagine that you're going to a new city to live and you want to rent a house that has security and a guard. But the person who is the guard of that house, that complex, that apartment, she's going to live alone. In the dark, she saw someone trying as if she had a second mouth. Trust me, I sent the police and ambulance. Then he ran to the forest behind the house. I will kill you with more pleasure. Is it all 20 years? This is Mashstar, and if you are interested in hearing strange and dark stories, even real cases, this is exactly the right channel, because we try to upload 3 times a week, and today is a special day, because this is the first story. But before dealing with today's story, please kill that like button and subscribe our channel and turn on all notifications. Let's go to a story. Jennifer had just moved to a new city and was looking for a place where it would be safer for her to buy a house, because she's going to live alone. Finally, she bought a house in a gated complex, in a gated apartment that has a guard, and the entrances and the exits are controlled. Her friend, who was trying to get Jennifer to get used to the new city, invited her out on Friday night, and at 12 o'clock at night, her friend brought Jennifer to her house. When Jennifer arrived, she locked the door and went straight to sleep. Around 4 o'clock in the morning, she felt that someone was on her. She opened her eyes. In the dark, she saw someone trying to tie Jennifer's hands. Jennifer tried to fight, even though she could feel the sharpness of the knife on her neck. She started punching. She was fighting very well until the attacker, or maybe the rapist, stabbed her. Jennifer was torn from her cheek to her ear, and from her ear to her throat, as if she had a second mouth. Blood splattered everywhere. Her hand was covered with blood, and she could not resist with that intensity of bleeding. The rapist also stood up suddenly. He lifted Jennifer by her hair and dragged her to the ground. He threw her in the bathroom and told her that if you put your foot out, I will kill you, and closed the door. Jennifer quickly sat behind the door and leaned her legs to the top to prevent the door from opening. In just a few seconds, she was covered in blood. She took a towel and pressed it on her neck. She was afraid of silence that filled the house. She imagined that person was waiting behind the bathroom door for a voice from Jennifer, or sitting on the bed and watching the door for Jennifer to come out. In this situation, in this pure panic, Jennifer suddenly heard the zipper of that person's pants. She said to himself, if he is zipping up, he must be living, right? She listened again. There is no more sound. Jennifer had to make the most important decision of her life. If I stay here, my place is safe, but I will die of bleeding. But if I go out, he will kill me. She was fainting because of the bleeding. She decided to take the last step to save herself. She sat on her knees and tried to turn the door handle, but it wouldn't open. Her hand was slippery with blood. She had escaped the hands on aggressive rapists or killer. But now she had closed the bathroom door on herself and was dying of bleeding. Finally, with the help of the bathroom towel, she was able to open the door slowly with fear. The whole house was dark. She couldn't see anything. She found the key of the nearest light with difficulty, but it wouldn't turn on. Exactly this night, when I'm dying, the electricity is cut off. And it didn't occur to her at all that the rapist had cut off the electricity. She went to the phone of her house, but it was disconnected. She looked around her bed and found mobile phone. In the dark, she sat on the sofa and called 911. While she didn't even know whether the rapist was hiding behind the sofa in the dark or had gone out of the house. The 911 operator calmly asked her about the wound on her neck. Jennifer was so scared that she didn't even notice the wounds on her hand. The officer taught her how to put the towel on her neck so she would bleed less. In just a few minutes, the officer was able to calm Jennifer down. Trust me, I sent the police and ambulance. Wait a few more minutes. They will reach your home. Then a loud noise came and Jennifer panicked. The 911 operator told him, "Is someone behind the door?" It was here that he heard sound of the door knocking. Jennifer asked, "Who is there?" The guy behind the door said, "I'm Brian, the house guard. Are you okay? I saw someone jump down from the balcony. Open the door." The 911 operator told Jennifer not to open the door. Jennifer disagreed because she had lost a lot of blood and was afraid that she would die right there on the sofa before the police arrived. Jennifer shouted that she was stabbed and she is fainting and she's waiting for the police. Brian knocked again. "Miss Jennifer, please let me help you. That person stabbed me too, but I'm fine. Open the door." The 911 operator told Jennifer not to move. He asked Jennifer to trust him and wait for the police. "I'm seeing the police car on my computer. Only 3 minutes left to your house. Do not trust anyone except the police and do not hang up the phone. I will tell you when they arrive." This was Jennifer's second hard decision of that night. She was only a few meters away from the door and she was dying. She decided not to open the door and not to talk Brian again. Although Brian was constantly knocking the door and insisting to accept his help, Jennifer said to herself, "I will collect my energy and open the door for both the guard and the police. After that, everything is over." These were the words of the 911 operator that Jennifer repeated to herself. That's it. The police siren sounded and the sound of Brian's knocking on the door stopped. A few seconds later, the 911 operator told Jennifer that the police are at your door. She gathered all her energy and opened the door, and immediately fainted. They took Jennifer to the hospital. Brian told the police what he had seen. But what did he say? He said, "I was at my post when I saw someone jump down from the balcony of Miss Jennifer's house. I ran towards him, but wounded my hand with a knife. Then he ran to the forest behind the house. His hand was injured and there was blood on his t-shirt, but his shoes and jacket were completely clean. The police asked him to get naked. At first he disagreed, but finally accepted there were no underpants and his whole body was full of blood stains, even his feet in socks. In the middle of this interrogation, the police detective who was searching Jennifer's house radioed. There's a guard's hat here in the bedroom, plus a rope and a man's underpants. When Jennifer regained consciousness, she quickly told the nurse that she remembered the rapist had called her name several times in the bed and in the middle of the rape. Calm down, Jennifer. If you resist, I will kill you with more pleasure. So he must have known her. The police told him that knew and arrested the rapist. He did not take his underpants with him. Now, what happened at the end of the story? Brian went to jail, obviously. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison for the crime of attempted murder. But Brian had returned to take his underpants and hat, and he might have killed Jennifer on the way back. That agent, his name was Richard, and later he even attended Jennifer's wedding, and Jennifer was very complaining about the Brian's short sentence. He went and complained to the security company that had a contract with that apartment and complex which Brian worked for them. And of course, that company lost the court. If you say why? Brian had a criminal record, and beside this, another guard of that security company had stolen a 15-year-old girl from her house and tried to kill her after rape. Come on, who are you hiring? Who are you guys? Isn't it better that our complex and apartments don't have guards? It's very better. Then you might think that Jennifer was lucky and is happy and all that. But this unfortunate person actually suffered for years, although she founded a law firm and became the voice of many other victims. For example, even though she left that home 2 weeks later and tried to go to work again, but she couldn't. Once, while walking alone in the street, she suddenly fainted. Why? Because a guy was walking very close to her, and Jennifer thought he was going to attack her. She returned home to live with his mother for a while, but she couldn't. She couldn't sleep at night. She would walk around the house in the middle of the night to see if anyone was there or not. She would call the police until she heard a small sound, but it turned out to be a cat. She doesn't sleep until morning. She sleeps in the morning until noon. First, her family found her a temporary job, but when the amount of the prison sentence was announced, she felt bad again. Is it all 20 years? You know, she can't do nothing about that. After suing the company, she thought of becoming a lawyer. She said to herself that this scar on my neck must be of use to me, otherwise it will be a reminder of that horrible night. Do you know why the neck wound didn't cause her vein to tear? Because the knife was stuck in her necklace. Her necklace was also a gift from his mother. Finally, she told herself that Jennifer, whom Brian attacked, is dead. I'm a new person. She went on to tell the story of her rescue in TV programs and became the face of a girl who fought. She tried to be the voice of those who could not survive. What do we get from this story? Number one, let's not go to the apartment that has a security guy. Number two, always wear our necklace even in sleep. And number three, always listen to the police operator. Thank you all for listening to the story until the end. Because this is my first video, tell me your opinion about the decoration, performance, and story. I will definitely read and answer all the comments, and I try to make each video and the story better than the previous one.